I should say that I used to never really care for long hair. Like, I was always someone who preferred to have like a bald fade. And you know, my dad, he taught me how to do that to my hair. So the only two people that have ever cut my hair is my dad and me. I've never gone to like a barber or anything. It's kind of interesting when I think about it. But yeah, that was like the preferred like hairstyle for me. It's just crazy because comparing, you know, who I used to be to who I am now, someone who has locks and long hair, it's like, wow, how did I arrive here? We all know well by now, or at least I would hope that we know, that there is no perfect recipe for a set of locks. There is no one size fits all regimen for people's locks, right? People are different. People live in different climates. People live in different environments. People have different textures of hair. And so when you have all these variables that you have to factor into having a set of locks and being on a lock journey, it only makes sense that everyone has to sort of, as I like to call it, personalize their own journey. Basically, they have to find out what works best for that person. You know, you have to find out what works best for you. Find another hobby, find another interest. Don't focus so much on your locks. As you guys know well by now, my mom installed comb coils, and I had them and I wore them for a month, and I actually did my first wash after a month's time of having them. I just washed them, and I found that actually washing them actually jump-started the budding process. You know, I used a comb to try to gather like my roots, and as you use the comb to kind of gather your roots, you actually create, at least I did, a tangle. So in that way, it actually kind of expedites the budding process. And yeah, you know, the if you say this was like a bud right here, this part of course is not locked. Definitely your roots aren't locked yet, but you have like that bud, that tangle, and I think that's awesome because once I have those on my starter locks, then I was like, okay, I'm good. Now I don't have to ever worry about, you know, my starter locks not actually becoming locks. So yeah, what is it that binds us? You know, I was thinking about this and I've thought about it in the past, but I haven't really been able to come up with anything with any sort of like certainty. Is it a rebelliousness, you know, that we all have that makes us get locks, or dreads? Is it just this overwhelming desire within us to express ourselves? Is that why we get locks? What is it? You know, I'm just curious because I mean, you have people all around the world that have locks, and it seems like there would be something more in common with us than just our locks, than just our dreads. I didn't get locks to rebel against society. I don't need to try to make a statement. I'm just doing me and the way that I see fit, and that's enough, and it'll always be enough. I just passed my 1 year, 6-month lock anniversary, and I decided to bring my videos to YouTube to hopefully help and inspire, you know, other lockers, and also to just promote the lock community. You know, there's so many of us that are out here and doing our thing, and who have discovered things that would be useful and helpful for fellow lockers. And so I want to make my contribution as well, and that is the reason for my channel. Just realize that even though your inner circle or the people that you see on a daily basis, even though they may not necessarily support you, there are those of us out here in the world that do support you. And thanks to YouTube, we're able to communicate, you know, with people across the country, across great waters, you know, across the world basically. And it's just amazing. I love that aspect of being able to interact with fellow human beings and fellow lockers who are on a journey that is somewhat similar to mine. You know, they are relatable and they understand things that people who are not on a lock journey or a natural hair journey can't understand because they're not on it. Understandably, it's not their fault, it's just the fact. So I love being able to connect with people that I would not be able to connect with otherwise. Nobody really likes retwisting. It just kind of like sucks to have to like reestablish parts and then you know, your arms are like up in the air for hours at a time, and it's sore, and it's just, it's an arduous process. So when you know, achieve this wonderful greatness such as this, you want to make it last as long as possible. And you know, that's fine, that's great, except if you're very active and you exercise a lot, you're sweating, you know, that helps to basically decrease the amount of time that a fresh retwist look will last. So one thing that you can do to prevent that, or kind of slow down the degradation of your you know, that fresh retwist, is you can get a bandana like this. I love having these oil concoctions. They're good, you know, after you wash your hair. If you want to give yourself a high oil treatment, you can put it in and then put your locks in like a plastic bag or something, and just let them sit for, you know, an hour, however long, and then take it out or whatever, and your locks will feel wonderful. Moving on to number 2, the second weird thing that I do as a locker is I panic about lint. Oh my god, is that lint? Is that lint in my hair? Do you see lint? That can't be lint. Are you sure that's lint? What's going on? Is that lint? No, God, why have you forsaken me? That can't be lint. I wore my dreadlock last. That can't be lint. Please don't be lint. Oh Lord, what am I gonna do? I think I see lint. Really? Now I understand that nobody wants to have lint in there. You know, it's not, how should I put it, the most aesthetically pleasing thing, right? However, it's also not the end of the world. Good morning, guys. So I just woke up and decided that it would be a good idea to show you what I actually use to cover my hair at night to protect it, to protect my locks. This is called the Dread sock, and yeah, you just stuff your locks in there. It's like elastic around the edge, so it stays on all night, which is very convenient. Do-rags and things that I used to wear before, I would wake up in the middle of the night and find like the do-rag like across the room or something, and my locks completely exposed to lint, what have you. So just want to show you what my hair, like what your hair will probably look like when you wake up in the morning. So yeah, as I said, it's elastic, so you just take it off, right? Yeah, just so kind of wake them up a little bit or whatever. Spray some water, put whatever oils you're gonna put in it to seal the moisture in. Or you can just, you know, sometimes what I do is I get in the shower. I mean, I always get in the shower, but you get in the shower, and when I get in the shower, I kind of let the mist and the splashes from the water hitting my body land on my head, on my hair, and kind of wet my hair a little bit, and that also will kind of wake your hair up and let it do its thing. So I need to work out first, but then I'll take a shower without the shower cap, and then come back so you can see what my hair will look like after doing it that way. So pretty much I wear my dread sock every night. I'm pretty religious about it because, you know, I don't want to have like lint in my hair. I don't want to find like a lock on my pillowcase one morning because of the friction and stuff. So as you can see, I got some good sweat action over there, which means that the dirt was finally lifted, and that's why I'm able to produce studs with the shampoo. But if you look in certain other parts of my hair where it's darker, like my hair color, or you know, it's just not as much stud action going on, that's an indication that those spots are not quite clean enough yet. So, and I've pretty much evenly distributed the shampoo all over my head. So it's not like I put more shampoo over here than over here. But it's darker over here, right? There are fewer suds over here. So whenever you're washing your hair, if you don't get good sud action, then that is an indication that your hair is still dirty. Alright, so yeah, like I said, I dyed my hair black. I haven't done a retwist. I'm trying to hold off on the retwist. And it was just a temporary dye. So since I washed it today, it's probably not as black as it was before I washed it this morning. But yeah, I think it looks good. I like the black on me. I feel like when it's black also, like even when you don't have a fresh retwist, it still looks good. You know, it, like just kind of like lays down, and it's just cool. So today I was really seriously considering not washing my hair and just doing a retwist using my distilled water or rose water mixed with a few drops of peppermint oil. The reason is I just don't feel like going through the whole washing and retwisting process, since I'm not feeling the greatest these days. But when I inspected my scalp, I realized that, yeah, I definitely need to wash my hair. I need to wash my scalp because it's flaky, there's dead skin cells, or maybe like some oil that wasn't fully absorbed into my scalp. I don't know, but I want to show you guys my scalp so you can see what I'm talking about, and so that you can realize why it is important to actually wash your hair, wash your scalp, period. So you may have, scrubbed your scalp, you may have washed it a minimum of like 2 times and did whatever, and you think your scalp is clean. But sometimes if you're not careful, you will be fooled into thinking that it's clean when it's actually not. So let me show you what I mean. If I were to part my hair, it kind of looks a little bit clean, right? But you grab the comb and you go in there and you just kind of lightly, scrub a little bit. You'll see that there's still flakes coming up. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see what's up here. See? You see that? There's still flakes coming. So what you need to do is you need to hop your behind back in the shower, or get your head back over that bowl and get to cleaning that scalp some more, because it's not thoroughly cleaned just yet. So whenever you are, washing your scalp, make sure you get it very clean. Don't be fooled. Just because you have washed it a couple of times does not necessarily mean that it is clean. Get in there, use your fingers, kind of rub it that way, or get a comb like I did and just kind of gently graze the surface and see if you can lift up any remaining dirt, dead skin cells, dandruff, buildup, whatever, and make sure it's completely gone. So now that my scalp is completely clean, I feel comfortable proceeding with my retwist. For me, I'm sure it is no surprise that I think one of the things that can be done to improve the Loc community is to eliminate anything that will lead to divisiveness within it. So anything that suggests it, that promotes it, I think those things should be done away. And by doing that, I think the Loc community can become even stronger than what it already is. Yeah, as you guys saw in my more recent video, my hair grows away from my locks. So one of the benefits to actually retwisting is that I get to reinsert that new. And you guys remember in the not so distant past when there was a lot of talk about the Loc community dying? I was just thinking that's so not the case. So can I just tell you, that first month I will never forget. After my mom put those comb coils in, my scalp was itching like crazy, so bad I wanted to just scratch my scalp off of my head. It was so bad, and at that point you're so paranoid to disrupt any of the comb coils. You're like, I don't want to, scratch you. You're trying to get your little finger in there or use little points, and you're just like, but it would be happening all over your freaking head, and it's just so annoying. So anyone that is going through that super crazy itchy phase, trust me, I understand it. I went through it. Persevere, you will make it out. Not unscathed, you will be scathed, but you will make it out. It will get better. Today I'm going to be doing a loc tag. It's called the This or That Loc Tag, and it was created by IBYL. Yes, some people are ending their journey. Some people are stepping off the court. Some people are getting out of the game. But not everyone is. Not all the Loc'ers are, taking an exit. And just like many people are being born every single day, there are new Loc'ers that are entering the game every single day. And so what's really happening is that there's a sort of passing of the torch, or passing of the baton from the vets to the newbies. And I just think that that is a very beautiful, beautiful concept, we all get older, and we all eventually will let the younger generations kind of take the reins and direct the journey, And so I just think that that is such a beautiful thought. Another beautiful thought that I had today while I was relaxing on this wonderful yet gloomy Sunday is that now it's one thing if you want to combine thin locks just because you want bigger locks, but it's another thing if you're combining those thin locks because you're afraid that they're going to break off. Are you confused yet? The thin and thinning, I know it's a mess. Long locks or short locks? Well, since I still have short locks, I'm gonna, and the grass is always greener on the other side, I'm gonna have to choose long locks. Short locks are cool, but they're always in your face. I feel like once my hair gets like long enough, I'll be able to like put it back and it'll stay back versus coming immediately forward again when I position my body in a certain way. So yeah, definitely long locks. I have decided to give myself a goal of 4 years, okay? So that's what I'm trying to make it to. 4 years locked, all right? So I guess that'll happen August 16th, 2018. That'll be 4 years. So yeah, that is officially my goal. Say like I'm having a conversation with skate locks 5 years from now, I just think that's what community is about. It is such a beautiful, it's so beautiful to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a little sentimental, but I think it's beautiful. You guys should too. Colored or natural hair? I think I would prefer natural hair, but I guess, yeah, I don't know. That's tough because I did a lot of crazy things to my hair before I got locks, and that's partially why I have lighter ends. Because yeah, I bleached and dyed my hair various colors. This is a tough one. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna change my mind. I'm gonna go with colored hair, just so I have the variety. I can do crazy stuff, but I can also, keep it nice and tame if I want. And I can even dye it my natural color, so it looks natural, right? Yeah, this one right here. Alright, I've shown you this lock before. See how it's there's less hair there, right? All the hair is here. It's not like I'm actually thinning at the roots, but the hair is there. But if you look at the lock, it's thinning, right? So that's an example of a thinning lock. If the thinning that was occurring with that lock was not a result of the fact that my hair doesn't grow into the lock, but instead I just have less hair at the base of the lock, then yeah, I would entertain the idea of combining it with a nearby lock so that I would have more hairs at the base, closest to my scalp to support the weight of those locks. Here's an example of a thin lock. As you can see, this lock has been thin since its birth. Right? Since my mom first put that comb coil in, it's been thin. If you look here at the base, there's more than enough hair there, okay? So even though this is a thin lock, it's fine, it's completely healthy. Think about all the people that you're connected with. I'm thinking about all the people who I have dialogue exchanges with, like other Loc'ers, right? Going back and forth in the comments section. Some of us connect outside of YouTube, and they're in their own dreadlock journey. I'm in mine, and we're doing our thing. And now, like, pause. Okay. And fast forward like 10 years, assuming we're still in the game. I mean, 10 years seems like a stretch. Do 5 years. Fast forward 5 years, and just think about all the connections that were made and all the back and forth conversations that were had, and just think about how much more length you will have, in terms of your locks, and just how deeper the relationships will be by that point. I think that's such a beautiful thought, such a beautiful idea to know that you guys have been on your individual journeys, but traveling together over 5, 10 years, or even longer. Can you imagine like the bond that you will have? And I know there's some veteran Loc'ers who have people like that, who they travel their journeys with, and who, they're tight, they're solid. And yeah, I can't wait to like experience that. Hey guys, in light of this most momentous occasion, that being me of course reaching 500,000 subscribers, I thought it was time for me to do the expected, the typical reading hate comments
Atreyu.
What?
Dude, you don't have that many subscribers.
Don't you see him making a video?
Yeah, but you don't have 500,000 subscribers.
What do you mean I don't have 500,000 subscribers?
You only have 500 subscribers.
Hold on, I only have 500 subscribers?
Yeah, 500.
Where are you getting this information from?
It's right on YouTube.
Oh, it says it.
Yeah, kind of how that works.
Well, why didn't you tell me this before?
Okay,
I mean, like, I'm in the middle of a video. This is so embarrassing. All my viewers are gonna see this, and
you don't have to post it.
I mean, 500 is pretty different from 500,000, is it not?
It is, but I was on vacation.
Gosh, I guess you get what you pay for.
Dude, I'm free. You don't even pay for me.
Exactly.
Whatever.
But wait, this is the Sebbie Appreciation channel, right?
Yeah, you don't know your channel anymore?
Okay. So that means I don't have 500 subscribers. That means I have 500 Sebbies.
Yeah, technically speaking.
Well, that makes everything better. 500 Sebbies is so much better than 500,000 subscribers.
Whatever floats your boat, dude.
Alright, get out of here. Let me finish the video.
Alright, I'm gonna go back on vacation.
Work my magic and come up with something.
I'm sure you will. You always do.
The show must continue rolling.
Yep, good luck.
Alright, thanks. Peace.
Do you, boo-boo.
Let's get to it. So, I'm just gonna spray. It's been, my hair started to dry since I've been retwisting. Okay? And I'm gonna separate the hair. And I'm not someone that's concerned with like perfect parts or anything like that. Don't get it twisted. No pun intended. Alright, and I twist my hair this way, so clockwise. How many times have us maintainers said, we've preached to people that, that say, I want hair or locks just like his or hers, that it's impossible. Like, that's an impossibility. There are so many factors that play into how our locks end up looking and, their resulting form, that it's impossible to achieve the exact same look, the exact same set of locks on your head. So that right there tells anybody that's willing to listen that, yeah, the maintainers here, their sets of locks, they don't all look identical. You're just not looking close enough. Anybody that thinks that my locks look exactly like Keisha Charmaine's, clearly you're just not looking close enough. Alright, so I sectioned the hair. I want to make sure I don't have any hair coming from any of the other locks, because when I get to working on those locks, they're gonna pull my Cinnabon apart. So I want to make sure it's nice and sectioned well, okay? And then I'm twisting clockwise. So you see it's like this. And then I'm going to wrap. So I'm going to use this finger this time to hold it there. Wrap it around in that same clockwise direction. And when I let go, I have this in the bone. So hopefully you can see it. Alright. And it may want to fall down a little bit, just kind of like. Another one is a more serious and I think a more legitimate argument, but still it goes awry at some point. The argument that they don't manipulate their hair because they don't want to go bald due to traction alopecia. Yes, traction alopecia is a very real thing and it's definitely something to take very seriously. But why is the assumption that every person that maintains their locks automatically, palm rolls one lock 55 times while using like 6 different products on that lock? Like, why is it the worst case scenario? I understand that you're trying to make a point, but I don't think you should make that point at the risk of like exaggerating to like some crazy extent. At the beginning of my journey, I was palm rolling for sure. I was retwisting every month and palm rolling, and it's round, it's pretty cylindrical. But then there came a point when I abstained from retwisting, and since I wasn't retwisting, I wasn't palm rolling, and it got flat in this area. Okay. But then I noticed that, and it kind of freaked me out at first. It was like the first time I ever noticed flat locks in my set, and I'm like, what the heck? So I started palm rolling again, and it started coming out cylindrical again. It's all about what you want. I personally, I kind of like to have a few flat locks interdispersed in my set, because I think it adds character and adds to the whole uniqueness. But if you don't want, you know, flat locks, then you can work to reverse it by palm rolling when your hair is damp, because remember, when your hair is wet, it's more malleable. You know, you can kind of shape it and mold it and form it into the shape that you actually want it to be. You have some maintainers that say, yeah, freeformers, you know, I would never freeform because I wouldn't be able to get a job. I think it's all about how you market yourself, not your hair, right? It's not just about your hair. How many times have I said you're more than your hair? And yeah, there will be some jobs that will look at your hair, you know, if you're on a freeform journey or whatever, or quest, and they may look at you and say, yeah, I'm not gonna hire that person. But I think if you do your best to market yourself, to show that you're a competent, hardworking individual with an incredible, inimitable work ethic, then yeah, there's a good chance that you can get a job. And I think there are many successful people out there who have freeform locks who have good jobs. So I think, you know, maintainers making that statement is just as preposterous. So you haven't retwisted for 3 months and your hair grows away from your locks, then your hair has essentially grown out over the period of 3 months. You don't do anything to reincorporate that new growth back into the lock. Well, because that hair isn't where it should be, which is into the lock, then that part that has grown out without the new growth is naturally thinner. All right, I got my section 1, 2, 3. Let's get this. And it really goes fast. Like if I wasn't talking through this video trying to explain what I'm doing, I would have been done by now. But you know, brother, be trying to be thorough for you guys, so I want to set you guys up right and set you up for success. The key is having enough new growth to be able to braid into the lock. So this one, you can really see how it thickened up, and you can really kind of see that braid back and get close enough in here. Yeah. So, yeah. And then I could, you know, retwist it. But, yeah, that is where it's at. So this, guys, is the braid technique. I just want to clarify something. Just because you discover that your new growth grows away from your locks, that does not mean that it does that on every lock, or it naturally thins out every single lock on your head. As I said, my problematic locks are mainly these 4 to 5 in the perimeter area. The majority of my locks, the hair does grow away from my locks. You know, I think I maybe have like maybe 3 or 4 locks that I can count where the hair pretty much stays into the lock, but those locks also don't thin out to the point where I'm worried that it's gonna break off. You know, it's just the case that my parts disappear and stuff like that. So you may only have to worry about a few locks. And so, as I said, I went to retwisting once a month again, and my locks started to thicken up like normal. But now basically the point is I retwist every 2 months with no problem. And for those problematic locks, I just braid the new growth into the lock, and it holds over that 2-month period that I'm not reincorporating that new growth back into the lock. So now I don't have an issue. Good morning, guys. Sebbie Appreciation is here. It is a beautiful Saturday morning. You can't see it, but I'm looking at just clear blue skies with a lot of sunshine. It's not too hot, it's not too humid. It's just a very chill, cool, refreshing morning. And I'm about to get a workout in, hence the bandana. But, you know, I thought it'd be cool to do a Rosemary Rinse, to have that pour on my scalp right after the workout. And so that's what I'm going to do. Who doesn't like that fresh, tingly feeling on their scalp, right? Yeah, they feel amazing. They feel like really soft and moisturized. And not just because they're damp, but I don't know, you can feel a difference. I think there's a certain oiliness to the lemon as well. And so it's like almost like while it cleanses, it still leaves like a good sort of oily film. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but it definitely does. And they smell amazing, you know. I smell, my locks smell like, I don't know, just earth. That's the best way I can put it. So, yeah, I did the rinse, and now they're all set to go into this 3-year Loc'versary on August 16th. So it's my 3x10, and yeah, I just got finished retwisting and drying my hair. My hair is still slightly damp at the tips, you know, the water runs. So let me give you that 360. All right. Oh, hot today. So yeah, I've been in the bathroom this morning, obviously retwisting my hair, and it's just kind of humid. And it's a little bit humid today anyway, so. Alright, so these are my locks at 3 years and 10 months. I have 2 more months to go before I hit my 4-year mark, and I decide whether or not I'm going to continue with my quest or whether I'm going to do something else with my hair. So I'm just trying to savor the remaining couple of months, and I'll figure it out once I get to that bridge. We'll cross it when we get there.
While you can put a lot of things in loose natural hair and wash it out with ease, the same cannot necessarily be done with locks. Locks are, as you guys know, matted, entangled hair, right? So through the aid of water, you can get things into locks, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna be able to get it out. And so you really have to be careful about what you actually put into your locks, because you might be able to get it in, but you won't necessarily be able to get it out. And then it's called buildup because it's building up with time, right? You wash your hair so many times over the course of a year. You may use conditioner so many times over the course of a year. You may put certain products in your hair so many times over the course of a year. And you're rinsing thoroughly, or you think you are. But just imagine that every time you rinse, say you saturate your locks so they have 100% of this product in, but then you do this thorough rinse and still there's like 8% left of the product in your hair. If you do that 5 times, that's like 40% of product in your hair. You know what I'm saying? It's building up. Now, it may not necessarily be linear like that, right? But the point is that you're putting things in your locks that can't be washed out with ease, and as a result get stuck.
I think that depending on how you treat your hair over the course of your lock journey, if you're very careful with it, then I think that sets you up to retain the most amount of length. I remember the things, I like variety, so I would have I would wear a fro one day, then the next day, I would have cornrows, and the next day I would have, I put in 2-strand twists, and I would wear the 2-strand twist out, and then I might have my mom she might put in comb coils for me, and then the next day I would, I would pat the big fro way down so it looked like I got a haircut. And all of my friends, a lot of my non-black friends, and even some of my black friends would be like, "Oh, dude, you cut your hair again?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't cut it." And then, grab a piece that's like a half an inch long and stretch it all the way out, and they would be amazed. I used to love the look on their faces when they're, "How does your hair do that? That is so cool," But yeah, it definitely. There is a lot of maintenance that goes into that, and that goes into making sure your hair doesn't get dry, doesn't get brittle, and doesn't break off as a result. But I think we need to reevaluate our approach when we have locks. A lot of those methods that are employed are not necessary, are unnecessary when you have locks, right? You don't need to do all that. And with me, I adopt mainly a very low maintenance regimen. I retwist with water and maybe a few drops of peppermint oil. You guys recently saw like what I do to moisturize my locks. You know, maybe 2-3 times a week when it's cold, and then when it's warmer out, even less than that, less frequently. So I don't do much. Also, some of the oils that we put in our head, you know, they are, especially if you heat them up, they're liquid, right, at a hotter temperature. But then when they cool, they solidify. And so that's another way that you can get buildup. You know, you put it on there, and maybe it was warm. Maybe you did it from a hot oil treatment, and they got into your locks, and it's fine. It's not visible. You don't see any white substance. But then, as the temperature, you know, becomes room temperature, then it solidifies, and it solidifies in the lock. And so there's just so many different ways you can get buildup, and that's why it's just so utterly important that like you kind of adopt the less is more. You know, that slogan. I think that's so true and so profound, and we hear it a lot, and it's almost cliche at this point. But there's a lot of truth to it. All that extra is just unnecessary. And I think that's why we get a lot of buildup.